For nearly 50 years, Star Wars fans have been asking the same question. Not who is Yoda, not how powerful is Yoda, but what exactly is Yoda? Think about it. We know where Luke Skywalker came from. We know where Obi-Wan came from. We know where Darth Vader came from. We know the homeworlds of Wookiees, Twi'leks, Togruta, Mon Calamari, Rhodians, and hundreds of other alien species. Yet somehow, after decades of movies, shows, books, comics, and video games, we still don't know one of the most basic facts about one of the most important characters in Star Wars history. What species is Yoda? No official species name, no homeworld, no explanation, nothing. And here's the crazy part. Lucasfilm absolutely knows the answer. George Lucas knew. The writers know. The people running Star Wars know. They're simply choosing not to tell us. And the more you look into it, the more you realize this isn't an accident. It's one of the smartest decisions Star Wars has ever made, because the mystery surrounding Yoda isn't a problem. It's the entire point. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask you to subscribe. This is one of my biggest projects yet, and it would mean the world to me. Today we're going to look at every clue Lucasfilm has given us, every major theory fans have developed, and the real reason we'll probably never learn the truth. When audiences first met Yoda in 1980's The Empire Strikes Back, nobody expected him to become one of the most iconic characters in science fiction. At first, Yoda seemed almost ridiculous. He was tiny, strange-looking, spoke in unusual sentences, stole Luke's food, dug through his supplies. Nothing about him looked powerful, and that was intentional. George Lucas wanted audiences to underestimate him. Then came the reveal. This strange little creature wasn't some random alien. He was the Jedi Master, the teacher of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the greatest Jedi in the galaxy. And instantly Yoda became unforgettable. But here's what's interesting. The more important Yoda became, the less Lucas explained about him. Most major characters get backstories. Yoda didn't. Most species get names. Yoda's didn't. Most planets get identified. Yoda's never did. It wasn't forgotten. It wasn't overlooked. It was deliberate. George Lucas wanted Yoda to remain mysterious, because mystery creates wonder. The moment everything gets explained, part of the magic disappears, and Lucas understood that better than almost anyone. Despite decades of secrecy, Lucasfilm has given us a few clues. The first clue is obvious. Yoda is not unique. For years, fans thought he might be the only member of his species. Then the prequels introduced Yaddle, another member of the same species. Like Yoda, she was small, green, highly Force-sensitive, and a Jedi Master. Immediately, that confirmed one thing. Yoda belonged to a real species. But it also raised new questions. If there are others, where are they? Why do we never see them? Then came Grogu, and suddenly the mystery became even bigger. Grogu wasn't just another member of Yoda's species. He became one of the most important characters in modern Star Wars, and he revealed something fascinating. The species ages incredibly slowly. During The Mandalorian, Grogu is approximately 50 years old, yet he behaves like a child. Think about that. 50 years old, still basically an infant. Compare that to humans. By 50, most people are already middle-aged. This means Yoda's species develops at an extraordinarily slow rate. Aging that slowly could explain why Yoda lived to around 900 years old. But it also suggests their biology is unlike almost anything else in the galaxy. Then there's the Force. Every known member of the species is incredibly Force-sensitive. Yoda, one of the greatest Jedi Masters ever. Yaddle, a member of the Jedi Council. Grogu, a child with immense Force potential. Notice the pattern. Every single known example is deeply connected to the Force. That could be coincidence, but it seems unlikely. The species may possess a naturally strong connection to the Force itself, and if that's true, it explains why the Jedi were so interested in them. It also explains why Imperial remnants became obsessed with capturing Grogu. A species naturally gifted with force sensitivity would be incredibly valuable and incredibly dangerous. Now here's where things get really interesting. George Lucas wasn't simply vague about Yoda's species, he actively protected the mystery. Over the years, countless authors wrote Star Wars novels, comic books, reference guides, encyclopedias. Entire generations of stories expanded the galaxy, yet somehow nobody was allowed to explain Yoda's origins. Writers have repeatedly hinted that Lucas discouraged anyone from revealing too much. The mystery was protected. Why? Because Lucas believed some things should remain unknown. This might sound frustrating. Fans naturally want answers. But Lucas understood something important. Mystery is powerful. The unknown makes characters feel larger than life, ancient, legendary. Mystery is powerful. The unknown makes characters feel larger than life, ancient, legendary. Think about myths throughout history. The most fascinating figures are often the ones we know the least about. Yoda works because he feels older than the story itself. He feels like he belongs to a world beyond what we can fully understand. Giving him a detailed origin might satisfy curiosity, and Lucas didn't want that, of course. Fans hate unanswered questions, so for decades they've developed theories. Lots of theories. Some are reasonable, others are completely insane. Let's start with the most popular, the ancient force species theory. This theory suggests Yoda's species evolved alongside the Force itself, not literally created by the Force, but deeply connected to it from the beginning. This would explain their natural sensitivity, their rarity, and their extraordinary lifespan. Then there's the celestial theory. The Celestials are ancient beings referenced throughout Star Wars lore, entities so powerful they seem almost godlike. Some fans believe Yoda's species could be descendants of these ancient beings. It's an interesting idea, but there's very little evidence supporting it. Then we have the Wheels theory. Hardcore Star Wars fans may recognize that name. The Wheels were part of George Lucas's earliest concepts for Star Wars. Some believe Yoda's species could be connected to them somehow. Again, fascinating, but largely speculative. The truth is that every theory eventually runs into the same problem. There simply isn't enough information. Lucasfilm has carefully avoided providing the clues needed to solve the mystery, which brings us to Grogu, because many fans thought Grogu would finally provide answers. Instead, he made everything even more confusing. When Grogu first appeared in The Mandalorian, fans immediately assumed answers were coming. Finally, another member of Yoda's species. Surely now we'd learn something, anything. Instead, Lucasfilm doubled down on the mystery. We learned Grogu survived Order 66. We learned he trained at the Jedi Temple. We learned he possessed remarkable Force abilities. But we still learned nothing about his species. No homeworld, no species name, no explanation. In fact, Lucasfilm seems more determined than ever to protect the secret. And honestly, that's probably intentional, because Grogu demonstrates exactly why the mystery works. The moment audiences saw him, they became fascinated. Not because they knew what he was, because they didn't. Mystery generates curiosity. Curiosity generates engagement. The less Lucasfilm explains, the more fans want to know. And after decades, that strategy is still working. So why will Lucasfilm never tell us about Yoda's species? Because revealing the answer would accomplish almost nothing. Let's imagine they announce it tomorrow. They reveal the species name, the homeworld, the history, everything. Would Yoda become more interesting? Probably not. In fact, he might become less interesting. The mystery surrounding Yoda has become part of the character. It's one of the reasons he feels different from everyone else in Star Wars. He's not just another alien species, he's a living mystery. An ancient figure who seems to exist outside normal galactic history. And that's exactly why he works. Modern franchises often make a mistake. They explain everything. Every backstory, every mystery, every unanswered question. Eventually the universe starts feeling smaller, less magical, less mysterious. Star Wars has avoided that trap with Yoda for nearly half a century, and honestly, That's impressive, because it requires restraint, the ability to leave questions unanswered, the ability to let imagination do some of the work. And in Yoda's case, imagination might be more powerful than any official explanation. After 45 years, we still don't know what species Yoda belongs to. We don't know where he came from, we don't know what his homeworld is. We don't even know the name of his species. And that's exactly how Lucasfilm wants it. The mystery isn't a loose end, it's a feature. George Lucas understood that some questions are more powerful when they're never answered. Yoda isn't supposed to feel ordinary. He's supposed to feel ancient, mythological, timeless. The moment Star Wars fully explains him, part of that magic disappears. So will Lucasfilm ever reveal the truth? Maybe. Anything is possible. But if they do, they'll be giving up one of the greatest mysteries in the entire franchise. And honestly, that might be a price that's not worth paying. Because after nearly 50 years, one thing is clear. The reason Yoda remains so fascinating isn't because we know what he is. It's because we don't.